Are you in a no-sex marriage? If you are, I want you to watch this webinar. There is time to turn things around and create the life that you want for yourself and those that you love. So you are in a no sex or little sex marriage and, you've lost your vibrancy. And you wonder, how the hell did I get here? That's right. How the hell did I get here? And I can tell you because I was where you are. Yeah, I was where you are. And it wasn't a good place. It wasn't a good place for me. It wasn't a good place for my wife. And it wasn't necessarily a good place for my kids either. And I will tell you that there's a way out. But first, you need to know how you got here. So first of all, when you got married or were engaged, and I thoroughly believe that the best sex, some of the most best sex that you have initially is that time between engagement and marriage. Now, there's a lot of excitement in the air, and there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of good emotions going on. But you were having sex. That's right. You were having sex and lots of it. Maybe once a day, maybe a few times a day. And she was excited. She was enthusiastic. And maybe she initiated at times. And, well, she was really into it. Yeah. And it was good. You didn't have a lot of money. I don't know about you. I grew up poor. And when I graduated from dental school, I got a watch, a Timex, mind you, a Timex. That was a big deal at that time. But I didn't have a lot of money. And so I got married and wasn't in great financial shape. It was okay. But we got married and, sex was good. Sex was every day. It was a lot of fun. She was enthusiastic. And then, shit started to happen. There was work. Now, either you own your own business like I did, or you work for someone. But work is stressful. And when you get promoted, the stress increases. That's right, the stress increases. And pardon my scribble, but that's as good as I'm going to get on here on this printing. And the stress increases all the time. And she may be working, or maybe she's doing the mommy track. Either one of those is tough. Taking care of kids all day is, it's exhausting. And if you go to work and then have to come home and take care of kids and make dinner, that's exhausting too. But you have lots of stress. She has stress at work or at home, you do. And you start to come home tired. That's right. You start to come tired and maybe frustrated. Maybe even a bit angry about what's going on at the office. And so what happens is slowly, the communication stops. Now, you think it's going to be like this here all the time. And you're counting on status quo. But I'm going to tell you, status quo does not exist. It's a myth. It is a myth. You are either getting better, or if you're not working on getting better, by default, you are getting worse. And this worse may happen slowly. And you may go from having sex every day to having sex a few times a week, to having sex a few times a month, every 6 months, a year, maybe never. But this builds on it. It builds on itself. And the other thing that you may be doing is, because of everything that's going on, you may be sedating. That's right. You may be sedating. Now, that sedation is going to come in lots of different ways. For some people, it's alcohol. For others, it's smoking a joint when they get home. Yeah, smoke a joint, alcohol, or go completely the opposite direction. You can go and start working out a lot and coming home later and later because you're working out. And you got a buff body, but hell, she's too tired, not interested. And when you want sex, she says she is not in the mood. That's right. Or too tired. How many times have we heard that? I've heard that. I'm not in the mood. I'm too tired. I just don't want to now. Or maybe, maybe you're really kind of persistent and, well, you nagged her and she's just tired of the nagging. And she says, fine, I'm going to let you use my vagina for a little bit. And she just lays there passively, not particularly a participant. She's waiting. She's hoping for this to be over soon. And that type of sex is, well, it's not particularly fulfilling. Actually, it's a lot like masturbation. It's actually vaginal masturbation. That's right. It's vaginal masturbation. And it's not very fulfilling. You're done and she moves on. She gets up and leaves. And you're going like, well, gosh, what happened? Now, for some of you, you may have gone to porn. Yeah, porn. And, but it's not satisfying. And it gets less and less satisfying. You have to get to more and more, edgy porn. And maybe you got yourself a flesh lamp. Now, if you haven't heard of flesh lamp, go look it up on the internet. Or you got one of those little suction things that gives you a blowjob. But again, you're craving human intimacy. And roll into that the fact that you have the other things that actually kills sex in the relationship is kids. That's right, kids. Now, I remember when our kids were really young and I thought it was great. Yeah, in the morning they wake up and especially on the weekends, they come to your bed. Well, when that happens, guess what doesn't happen? And I'm not saying those are great times. Those are great times. But a pattern develops there because after a point, even if they don't stop coming to your bed, well, there's no sex even on the weekends. Maybe sneaking a little sex before getting out of bed. So consequently, this builds on it. And so you get frustrated. You get very, very frustrated. And when she tells you no, well, you're not in the mood or she's not in the mood and you get angry, frustrated. And then maybe you're thinking about, having an affair. Now that's going to do you. Now, let me just go back to the porn. The porn is not going to get you laid more frequently at home. That's right. It's not going to do that. And an affair, if you want half your shit gone in a heartbeat, that's where that ends up. It ends up in divorce. Now, you know that there's something more, and you're looking for it over here. But most men and their significant others cannot clearly articulate with specificity what they want. So as a result, you are a wandering generality, and she's a wandering generality. And until you can articulate specifically what you want, you're not going to get it because you won't be able to deal with the how. But before the how comes the what and the why. Now, you say you want more sex, but I'm going to tell you that probably you want something more. I think you want spiritual, emotional, and physical intimacy. That's right. You want intimacy. You want a willing partner in life and sexually. You want someone to be there. You want someone who wants to be with you, who actually enjoys you. And they, in return, are willing and sometimes actually initiate the sex. Yeah, sometimes they actually even initiate it. So that is what you are looking for. You're looking for spiritual, emotional, and physical intimacy to go along with the physical intimacy, which is a very important part of a relationship with your significant other. Do not let anyone tell you that physical intimacy is not important, but it needs to be intimacy. And if you start by talking about intimacy, well, you're going to get a lot further than saying, I want more sex. And by the way, what does that mean? And what are you doing to help her enjoy sex more often? Yeah, what are you doing? What have you done? Most of the time, men have not done anything different than what they've been doing for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And it gets boring. Now, I've been there, and I've turned my marriage around. And at age 70, and my wife is in her 60s, my wife and I enjoy a significant level of spiritual, emotional, and physical intimacy. Yeah, we do even at this point in our lives. More so than we did 15, 20 years ago. And it's gotten better. And it keeps on getting better because we work at it. There's also a thing that's happened is that you've lost your vibrancy. And that happens a great deal of time. Now, men, let me make that arrow a little bit better. Men lose their vibrancy over a period of time, a short period of time. And they don't really notice it until they get to a certain point. They go like, gosh, I don't have the same energy I had 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And there are strategies to deal with that. I know what they are. And women, well, and some of you may be at the point where your wife is going through menopause. And if you've not gotten the intimacy solved, then guess what? The little or no sex that you have is going to get less. And no matter how bad things are, they can get worse. That's right. No matter how bad things are, they can get worse. So, what is the answer? Oh, let me back up a little bit here. Yeah, and the other thing is, talk about your vibrancy. You go to your doctor and he tells you, well, your lab values are fine. But I feel like shit. But he says, oh, your lab values are fine. And that's just part of the normal aging process. And that physician expects you to accept that as an answer to your low level of energy. And I call bullshit on that. Because there are strategies to increase your vibrancy at whatever age you are. So I've explained a little bit about how you got here. That's right. And if you're still listening to me, then I know, well, you want something more. So I'm going to tell you to do one thing. One thing right now is to go to www.thestandard.academy/activation call and schedule a short call with me. That's right, a short call with me. And we're going to go over a few things, and we're going to find out, well, are you a fit to work with me in the Standard Academy? Yeah, are you a fit? At the end of that call, I'm going to share with you one thing that you can do immediately to improve the quality of your relationship. Yeah, one thing that you can do immediately to improve the quality of your relationship. So don't wait, don't hesitate, and for God's sake, don't procrastinate. Go to www.thestandard.academy/activation call and schedule that call down. You're going to be very glad that you did. You can turn it around.